Hi there, I'm Peter.
And I'm Jess.
And with the Bible in between us, we're
the PB&J Show. How are you feeling about that name?
Honestly, it's kind of growing on me. It kind of takes me back to the days of, the good sandwiches like Mom used to make.
Peter, you ready for this?
Yes, absolutely. And today we have a letter from Carlo who asks, Dear the PB&J Show, that's us. A new family recently moved into the neighborhood. They have 2 kids around my age. I see them in their yard and at school, and they don't seem to have any friends. My mom says I should go play with them and try and be their friend. That would be what God would want me to do. But they seem weird, and I'm not sure we would have anything to talk about. I understand it's what my mom wants me to do, but how do I know what God truly wants me to do? Thanks for your help, Carlo.
Wow, Carlo, that's a deep question.
Yeah, it can be hard to know what God wants since we don't hear his voice like we hear our parents' voice.
Yeah. But I think a good way to understand what God wants is to know God's truths. That basically means set things we know God wants on our hearts and on our minds.
Yep, and today to help us with that, we're talking about suits of armor.
Specifically, the full armor of God.
Oh. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
What?
Huh? Nothing. I guess all my research into all the different variations of Iron Man armor was all for nothing. But it's fine. I wanted to spend my week that way.
Okay. In the book of Ephesians, Paul talks about putting on the full armor of God.
Yeah, God's armor isn't physical. There isn't an actual sword for you to wield or a breastplate to wear or anything like that.
Right. We put on the armor of God by making choices to bring us closer to Him and be an example of His love in our own lives.
So, what part of armor are we looking at today?
Today, we're talking about the belt of truth.
Oh, we can skip that one.
Why?
Because for one, I know how to tell the truth. I'm really good at it. And 2, the belt's just not important.
Peter, you're wearing a belt.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I don't need it. See, I don't need it.
What are you?
See, look.
Okay.
There's my belt.
All right.
It's off.
Okay.
Oh, God, it's off.
Did you fall?
Yeah.
Because your pants fell down?
Yeah, because my pants fell down.
See, a belt holds the armor together. In the same way, without the ability to know God's truths, none of the other pieces of the armor are going to be able to do their job. Let's take a look at Gideon, a man who had to know God's truths in order to save his country.
You see, Gideon wasn't sure what he was supposed to do. At first, God's truth didn't make sense, so he put it to the test.
Today, we don't put out fleeces to see if they're wet or not to find out what God wants. We look at the Bible.
By looking at what God has said in the past, we can find out what God wants us to do in the present.
And of course, we can also pray. We can ask God to help us know His truths.
We live in a world where the devil will try to tell you lies about yourselves, others, and what you should do.
Yeah.
And that's what the belt of truth is for. It's using God's truth to dispel the devil's lies.
Exactly. And that's why our big idea for today is, I put on the belt of truth so I can fight the devil's lies.
So we know the devil is telling Carlo he shouldn't be his neighbor's friends just because they are different than him.
That's right. We see all over the Bible that God wants us to love others. He even mentions neighbors specifically.
Wow. So the belt of truth really is important.
Yep. When we have God's truth in our heart, the enemy's lies cannot have victory over us. We can hear those thoughts and push them right out of our heads.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's our show. Come back next week to hear more about Iron Man's armor. Armor of God. That's what we're talking. The armor of God.
If you have any questions you'd like us to answer, have your parents email us at pbnjshow@waymaker.church.
And as always, I'm Peter.
And I'm Jess.
And together we're the PB&J Show.